This is day 4 of the September 94 7-day retreat in Springwater. Until a few moments ago, it was not clear what would be talked about this morning. Hadn't written down anything. And then the statement and question of someone in a group meeting came to mind. I don't remember verbatim what was said. I rephrase it in my own words. Hearing you talk, it sounds as though there should be no wanting. That I should be free from wanting. And yet, I wanted to come here, and here I am. I want to live and enjoy life, for which I do certain exercises. I'm sick. I visualize health, and it helps in stabilizing the sickness. I don't feel I can let go of wanting. So let's clarify right from the outset. It could have been done a few days ago, but right now is the outset. That we don't talk in terms of getting rid of, overcoming, not having anything, but in terms of seeing, being aware of what goes on in myself as well as in relationship with others and in observation around me. What is going on? Non-judgmentally. It's an interesting thing to realize, to observe and realize that we already listen with certain categories of thinking which are well established in the brain from our past history. If something is talked about with a certain inflection or intensity, or maybe consequences are mentioned of wanting and the pain that ensues from not getting or losing, then the conclusion is drawn without anyone ever having said it. It happens automatically. This is bad. The opposite should take place. Wanting is bad. I shouldn't want. I should be without want. So, in listening to our talking with each other, to each other, can one also be aware of the quick conclusions drawn? That's very difficult, isn't it? How quickly we slide into the opposite. It shouldn't be like this, it should be the other way. Maybe because there is a resistance to listening and looking at what goes on in ourselves without a point of view, without judging it right or wrong. It is so strange, so alien to this conditioned mechanism of listening. So radically different from how we've been brought up. Always in the opposites, good and bad. If you're not good, you must be bad. If you're not diligent, you must be lazy. So is it possible to hold still, hold it, and look at what's happening? Someone is talking about, and it is, in talking, I'm looking. I'm not just talking from rote. So can we all look together and watch, hold still, keep looking, keep wondering and listening without falling into this trap of opposition, either opposing what is said or thinking that the opposite is meant to be good, the right thing. That's the implication. That is how it's perceived. So can we look at wanting, since that is what came up? Probably on day 4, having spent a lot of hours quietly, sitting or walking, lying down, working, eating. It becomes quite obvious that wanting is going on most of the time, isn't it? Manifesting itself in a restlessness. Wanting something different from what is going on. And imagination scanning, searching for something better, for something different. Has that been observed? Right now there's a buzzing sound, someone sawing. Can it just be listened to? Without any resistance, no opposition. Or is there wanting it to be quiet? Right now it is quiet. The wanting has results very often. Wanted to go to the moon, and there we are. At least the flag is still there. Few of us want to be President of the United States badly enough, and there he is. So wanting has very palpable results very often. Person who was talking about visualizations, saying this has stabilized the disease up to this point. Wanting help, wanting to find a mate, and there is search going on, looking. Not just looking. I don't want to get into this right now, searching for a mate. But rather look almost generically, if it were, at this process of wanting without falling into just intellectualization. Because we can very easily follow something intellectually and not look directly at what's happening in ourselves. So can we evoke something that we have wanted, maybe many things, recently, today, this moment? And what we want right now at this moment, is that a concept, an idea, a picture? Wanting to be free, that is an idea, it can also be pictured. And walking joyfully through the world, through the life, we have ideas and verbalize it and picture it. Wanting to be attracted to someone or attractive to someone, wanting a different mate, a better place, a better job. All of it is guided on by imagination and idea, isn't it? Can we agree on that? Can we look at it? If it's not so, it's not clear, we have meetings to start all over again and look at it freshly, one-on-one or however many people gather. Whether all wanting is led on by an idea, a concept, an image, creative imagination of what could be for me, where I could be better off, happier, more peaceful, more purposeful, more creative, more loved, more needed. It goes on and on, the list, that's not the point. What is it for oneself that comes up conceptually, ideationally, in fantasy, and spurs energies throughout the body to get there, or at least the energies of restlessness, of dilemma, thinking of what could be, what I could be doing, what I could have, and thinking of where I am right now, the comparison, either the energy to go get the new thing, the new place, the new job, or confusion. Should I go there or should I stay here? All generated by this dynamics of wanting and not wanting, which is two sides of the same coin. Our constant, perennial restlessness. Away from what? Being here, simply being here can also be an idea. People have told me this, being in the now and here. I realize now it's just all concept. Is it? Right now, this moment? Permeated by the sound of cicadas, crickets, fresh air. Is it concept? Is the sound of insects a concept? It is, but it's more than that, isn't it? Let's listen. Notice I was holding the breath while listening. And then follows a deeper breath to make up. Body is so intelligent. Heart is beating quietly right now. Tweet, tweet. Faintly, faint sounds of whatever. Wheels on the pavement. There's some imaging there, but the imaging is present and it does not veil the listening. Imaging is also here. Maybe imagining a cricket. I don't even know right now what a cicada looks like a cricket, but it's certainly audible. And it's right here, isn't it? Doesn't it permeate this whole hall and one's whole being? Not if the thought persists, no, I'm here, I'm sitting inside and they are outside. I hope they're outside. I don't want them inside. So, how quietly can the listening be? And by quieting down more and more, what is meant is awareness of concepts and words that arise and like and dislike. Awareness as that is just more happening now, but not fogging up the clarity of this moment. And then the thought arises, I don't have that, I want it. Bringing with it discontent, discomfort, and restlessness. What am I to do to get it? Can that be listened to? Listen to the hum of wanting. Seeing images that may be there of what I want or ideas. But in the seeing, they don't have to trigger the energies to get away from where we are. Let the energy be here. In listening, in sitting, in sensing, in openness. Not knowing what is next, not knowing where I will be tomorrow or this evening. Is that possible? For a moment to sit without knowing what will be? The turbulent thoughts for a moment, not agitating the body to go and get, which means more imagination of how it will be when I get there. In quietly listening now. What is it all? What's sitting here? The movement of sounds, the movement of body sensations, and yet all of it happening in a vast silent space of no movement. Because listening right now to all the movements, inwardly, outwardly, has no movement of its own. It's just there, quiet, like a mirror reflecting what's there. I don't like this mirror analogy. It's not a mirror. Things are there, moving within no movement of listening, looking, attending, being, without knowing what the next moment will bring. Does wanting arise? Watch it. Wanting to have it, wanting to be this, wanting to be undivided, wanting to be whole, complete. It's idea, isn't it? Do we see that? Or is it real? When it's real, there is no wanting for it because it's there. Not to be gotten to, not to be had. It's one's true being. Watch the wanting. Quietly, without movement, watching the movement of wanting. Is that possible? What could be for me. What I don't have, what others may have. Can one sense the movement of thought? Because that's what it is, movement of thought going along with movement of body. They go hand in hand. One person this morning says, it's so clear, thought is a physical sensation. That's how it appears when there's no. It appears this way, transparently as physical movement, physical sensation. Thinking and sensing goes hand in hand. Can we pay attention to the body manifesting the thinking with its agitation, an agitated body, a tense body, headaches? Can they be sensed? Feel it without thinking, I shouldn't have it. I shouldn't feel tense. I should be free of a headache. Can one sense the movements of those thoughts, how they're also physical? Tensing against tension, resisting pain. Such a subtle movement of thought body, but can become transparent in this stillness of awareness. So wanting is not just mental, psychological, conceptual, very physical. And can that be allowed to be felt without wanting to turn it into its opposite of not wanting? What happens when wanting is quietly, dispassionately observed? Dispassionately meaning not meddling with it, not interfering, not resisting it, just watching. Where is it? Can the body relax in awareness of itself? It sounds paradoxical. Relax in awareness of its tensions. Without any need to interfere, to do something about it. This is what is the essence of this work, is awareness without doing, which needs observation of our compulsion to do, which is physical, mental, psychological, observable compulsion to do something. What should I do? Go for a walk or sit? Or should I lie down? And thinking goes on and on and on. Why not at this moment, wherever one may be, sitting down, lying down, or walking, watch it. The confusion of thinking. Should it be this or should it be that? It's all thinking, but the body goes with it. The body is thinking. Every cell is also thinking. Should it be this? Should it be that? And listen to the cacophony of it. And not excluding the saw and the crickets. the smell of fresh, wet air. Because windows in this building are open almost at all times, summer or winter. Don't want to get away from this because it's brought up a lot. In a place without structure, so difficult to decide what to do. Can one listen to the whole orchestration of indecision? The sound of it. And the body humming along, tensing along, confusing along. And do nothing about it. There's nothing to be done. Listening is not doing, it's natural, it's open, it's without effort. There's no effort to hear that saw, is it? Someone laughing, heart beating, crickets chirping. Is it an effort? Is it an effort to listen to the inner confusion? To listen to it lovingly, if you will, gently, embracingly. I don't want to be soupy or drippy, but I mean something with that. Maybe not the opposite, not violently. This gotta go. I haven't paid for this retreat to sit in confusion on day 4. Whatever we are sitting in, what is it? Listen to it. Give it attention. And see what happens. Because it's not what we think it is. As long as we think it's this, we won't listen. We already have formed an opinion about it, and we know this is this, and it's not worth it. I don't want to be getting drawn into this. I want to stay away from confusion or pain. But this is what's there. I don't mean dredge it up. It's there when it's there. So how quietly can there be listening to the confusion of wanting and not wanting and all the conflicting wants? We talked about it in one meeting, how often it happens. You go to a doctor, you have a symptom. It's really aching, it's really bothering you. Begin to tell the doctor about it, he starts asking questions, and you look, and it's not there. Where is it? Darn it. If I only had gone yesterday. The moment you leave the office, there it is again. I wondered whether it has to do with a moment of combined intense looking. I'm not saying it's so with all symptoms. I'm not saying they're only in one's mind. I'm not saying this. Don't conclude. Maybe you're not concluding. But all I'm using it as an example for is when one really looks and is with quietly, spaciously, for 3 days, if need be. There's 3 days left, or 4 even, with what's there. Then what is it? Someone told me this morning, there are many decisions I feel I could make or ought to make in my life, but it's very clear that as long as thoughts are buzzing about what I should do, how it will be, or what I shouldn't do, as long as thoughts are buzzing about, I better wait. Because no true decision or knowing what to do comes out of buzzing thoughts. There has to be a settling down in quietness, emptiness of buzzing. The buzzing is, where will I be happier? Where will it be better for me? What will be the ideal situation? Buzzing around this self-centered network we've been talking about. We're not saying it's bad, let's watch it. It's there for all of us. We're not saying get rid of it, watch it. That is where confusion is constantly generated through buzzing thoughts about possibilities, alternatives. And this person says, very clear, knowing what to do cannot come out of this buzz. Or if it comes out of that buzz, it is confusion continued. So, does one say, well, what if I am in a buzz? What do I do? Nothing. Nothing. We're talking here right now. We're not talking a week from now or what was last month. Just this moment. That's enough. This moment of buzzing. Be with it. The words may sound so trite and it's just like a slot machine. Don't let it be that. It's fresh. I'm not talking like a slot machine. Be with it meaning listening. What is it? Open to the confusion, the buzz, the hum, the agitation, queasy feeling, the headache, tension. Like a mother holding her crying child without feeling guilty about it. Maybe one of the hardest things, or without wanting to do something about it. One has tried everything. Child is still crying. Can we keep holding it? Someone asked, or made the comment, it often sounds as though nature is pristine, pure, good. Healing. And everything having to do with human beings is programmed. ignorant, compulsive, unintelligent. The person said, this is the contrast I sometimes feel is being made. And I refuse to accept that. It's not all programmed, it's not all automatic. There is freedom and intelligence, and not a separation between human beings and nature. I was wondering about this. Why do we feel so good walking through the meadows? The grass, the flowers, the dew, or raindrops on the twigs. Clouds and animals. Why does it feel so healing? So in touch? Is it because a leaf does not think and therefore does not vibrate blue in the face with confusion? It's either a little bud, this first green glossy opening of little leaves, or deep green and now turning orange and red. But there are no regrets, no wanting. Does the leaf want to come out? Does it want to turn red? I don't know. I've never been a leaf. But it doesn't affect one this way. It's all there the way it is. Cracked branches, broken trees, upright ones, nibbled ones. A lot of nibbling has gone on in these leaves. And there they are with holes. Somebody put it out on the table. It was neat to see nibbled leaves. No sob story emanating from that. I'm not denying that there is freedom. Of course there is. But there's a lot of buzz and fuzz from this thinking organism, which is no one's fault. It has evolved this way, and now we're stuck with it. Caught up in our thinking, in the emotions, triggered by thought, and taking it for real. What is imagination about ourselves, about each other? The pain that goes with it, the suffering, or the momentary ecstasy. And can that buzz, today we talk about buzz of thought, of thinking, of imagining, of wanting, alternating, preferring all of this hum, and the organism humming with it. Clear up in the looking. Be seen for what it is and seen through. Not changed, but seen through. Making place for quietness, stillness, emptiness, openness. And the joy of undividedness. Not to take our thoughts for real representations of the truth. To realize that that's what we're doing, that's what's happening. No one is really doing it, it's happening. And not to despair that this will never end. That gives it more strength more resilience. And it's a false conclusion. Sound of crickets and breath and people breathing and moving. Is that thought? Is that wanting? Or is it just here, plain and simple, with no one doing it? No one doing it. No one. We will end here for today.